Miller Lite Carb Day practice ahead of Sunday's 108th running of the Indianapolis 500. Scott Dixon, P1 in that practice session in the 90 laps that he turned. Top speed at 227.206 miles an hour, at least a one-lap average. And then, of course, Scott drives the number 9 PNC Bank Chip Ganassi Racing Honda, the 2008 500 winner, making his 22nd start on Sunday. And Scott McLaughlin, 93 laps turned in that practice session, driving the number 3 Pennzoil Team Penske Chevrolet. 5-time NTT INDYCAR Series race winner, starts from pole for the 7th time in his NTT INDYCAR Series career. Scott, fastest today?
Yeah, which one?
That's right. That's a good point.
No.
Well, the fastest Scott today.
Series, yeah.
They're faster Scott today.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on race car seems to be pretty good.
Yeah, it started off pretty good. Conditions were definitely tricky. It changed a lot throughout. As we were just chatting, I think earlier on was quite comfortable. We went through some changes. Some were good, some were bad. But definitely a lot of competitive cars out there. So it's going to be one tough race. And as the track got a little bit warmer out there with track temp especially, it got pretty greasy and pretty slippery. But yeah, I think the 9 car has been fairly strong in race running, but unfortunately, I think there's about 20 others that are really strong as well.
And Scotty Mack race car, how would you describe it?
Very similar to what we started with this week. I mean, we haven't really played around too much mechanically with the car. Feels really good. It felt good out of the box, and just sort of building my confidence with it. We tried a few different downforce levels there, just to get an idea. Looks like cool attempts for Sunday as well as Monday. If that gets pushed back, hopefully not. But ultimately, you're just sort of going through the motions, attacking the pit speed line. I actually sped, which was a good thing to get that out of the way now. A few other things like just pit stop practice and whatnot. It was just ticking things off the list. So felt really good, but didn't put a big number up. But I think we're okay.
All right, Jack's got a microphone. So does Madeline. Let us know. We'll start here with Kyle, then we'll go Joey. Jack.
Scott, obviously with the fastest time today, but you're starting kind of further back, maybe not where you would want to go. Is the approach today that we saw just trying to go fast, get a lot of laps, is that kind of a preview of what your strategy might be during the 500, or what does that look like?
I think you just kind of got to roll with it. If you go in with any kind of preset notion of what you want to do, it just takes one person to change that. So I think just going in with an open mind, trying to be quick on your feet, and I think that's true for the whole strategy for our race. Is just ready for change, because I think there will be a lot of change going on. So especially with weather conditions, there's a lot of things outside of your control. So just do the best that you can and see where it plays out.
Was there any particular strategy that you tried to drive with today?
Go fast.
Don't crash.
And then Scott McLaughlin, just kind of looking around like you're in the iconic suit now, sat next to a 500 winner. You get the P1 position. It kind of just feels like the perfect storm for you this year. How are you feeling going into the 500?
Super excited. I mean, when this guy won in 08, it made me love the Indy 500 a lot, and as a Kiwi, and a very proud one at that. And I guess it has been a pretty whirlwind week. Being fastest here for qualifying. Obviously, it's the first box you want to tick, but ultimately you want to win on Sunday. But it's still been a really cool week, and I've really enjoyed it. Really try to soak it in as much as I can. But at the end of the day, the job's this weekend. But just really proud to represent Pennzoil, and obviously it's 40 years since Rick won in this race car, and it would mean a lot to the team and myself to do that. Obviously, it would be a life-changing experience, but ultimately we need to go through all the process, all the execution to get to that point. There's 32 other amazing race car drivers out there that are just going to be chasing us down and working us very hard, and I have no doubt about that. So just keep my emotions in check, just enjoy the moment and see what happens.
And then with all that in mind, like what you're wearing, Yellow Submarine, P1 position, and then also just the news surrounding Penske all season, is there any added pressure that you're feeling going into this race?
Not really. I'm just very focused on the job at hand. I think we proved that you only get a sore neck looking back. So we'll just we'll keep working forward, and I'm really proud of the execution all month, but at the end of the day, the main time to execute is Sunday, and we'll try and do that.
Joey, then Nathan. Go ahead, Joey.
For Dixon, obviously we saw what Chevy was able to do in qualifying, but when you look at the race trim and how this feels, does it feel like y'all are more level?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell in race trim, to be honest. I'd say it seems more level, but you know they still seem to pull up and come back from fairly far back. So it'll be interesting to see how it is in the race. Obviously, I'm sure nobody was stressing the engine too much in that session as well, but. Many a times the fastest car doesn't win, right? So you've just got to try and tick all the boxes, make sure that you're covering everything, and see what the last sort of 20 or 40 laps give you, and go from there. But I think we're in with a shot, and that's all you need.
And then for either of you or both of you, most tracks we go to, when conditions get cooler, you just know that it's going to increase grip, but this place kind of seems especially finicky. So what kind of mystery are we looking at if we get the overcast and the cooler temperatures Sunday, Monday? Hopefully not Monday.
Scotty's got more experience than me.
I think it's the same trend. The pack will just get tighter.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think it'll cool off, it'll get more grip, but everyone will get more grip. So I think you'll see the same gaps and stuff like that. It's a matter of being able to follow close enough when they make mistakes and capitalize.
Thanks, guys.
Let's go Nathan, then Nate. Go ahead, Nathan.
This one's for Scott Dixon. Scott, I know it's been a while since we've had weather really impact race day, I think, to 2004 and 2007. Can you kind of just look back for us and tell us what those race days are like when you don't know when you're going to be racing, you don't know if you're running to 200 laps or 150 laps, or what are those experiences like for folks that either weren't around here or weren't racing in those?
I think you can't look into it too much, right? It's the same for everybody, and it's you can't do anything about it. It was weird. I think I remember having a nap in between the start and the finish on one of those, and then obviously it finished under rain with was it 07? I think Dario beating me under caution, so that was not fun. So not a good memory. But yeah, it's weather, man. It is what it is. Might favour somebody in the end. It might not. Hopefully it's you. If you can ride that kind of train. But yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
And for Scott McLaughlin, Scott, with you guys having 3 Penske cars across the front row on Sunday, how, if at all, can you guys work together to try and control the race? Is that something you guys have talked about yet, like how you guys will approach that, or is that something you guys won't worry too much about?
I think, we've seen over the years, I think Scotty and Alex have done this before, where they really controlled that first sort of 100 and odd laps and whatnot. So it is able to be done, but we haven't had an active discussion about it yet. But at the end of the day, I'm sure there probably will be a sit down with all 3 of us before the race and just sort of analyse a few things. But at the same time, I guess everyone knows that when you're out in front, you're chewing a lot of gas. So ultimately, I think we'll take turns maybe at doing that, or making sure that we keep ourselves in good track position. Ultimately that's what I'm thinking about. But certainly when you get back to sort of 6, 7, 8 deep, it's quite difficult. So we need to make sure that we're up the front. But it's just let it come, let it happen. I haven't been up the front, started 14th, best I ever have. So I'm excited to see what it looks like.
Cool, thanks.
Thanks.
I know you guys have appearances and meetings soon and pit stop challenge. We got time for one more. Go ahead, Nate.
Can I ask one of each?
Just for you, yes.
Thanks. For Scott Dixon, on your left, Scott. We talked to Chip this morning, and he said that he felt like Honda gave something up in qualifying, but it was also sort of a team thing that kept you guys from making the Fast 12. And he felt like you guys had rectified it, or at least what you could. So I'm wondering, could you elaborate on that, like your perspective on that? And did you feel like you guys fixed whatever was going on in qualifying the last 2 practices this week?
Well, it is Chip's birthday today, so
Nice.
one bit, yeah. I haven't been in. Obviously, our relationships are much tighter with like our direct engineers, and you kind of come in each day and hope for some news. But I wouldn't say there's been any news, so I'm not sure what Chip's maybe alluding to, but I think as we spoke earlier, there was some separation in qual, but separation for us from where we were last year. And I think the biggest thing for us is that we weren't the fastest Honda. So, we missed something there. Where Honda lies on where they think their performance was is something a bit different as well too. But we'll be digging pretty deep. We've gone and had some discussions already. We think there's a couple of things that we missed, but all in all, it's going to take some time.
And for Scotty Mac, Simon Pagenaud, of course, is here, and we interviewed him during practice on Peacock, and he confirmed to Marty that he's your secret mentor. So I was wondering if you, and he was highly complimentary of everything you've done and about how you came to him and have absorbed everything. So I was just wondering if you just give us more perspective on how it came about and how much of an impact did he have on the pole? Were you using things in terms of lines and things that he was telling you?
The line, I think, came a little naturally to me, but yeah, he's a very keen observer on many things, a note taker, and we've been exchanging notes all week, and I asked him to do this January, February, and we've been analysing a lot of things since. But at the same time, he's always been a Team Penske member. He's won the 500 for us, and at the end of the day, we all just want him to be okay. So this was, for me, an opportunity for me to work with him, but also an opportunity for me to help maybe bring him back to the race and get his name back involved. And whether that's not driving a race car or what, but at least he's involved and he gets that feel of being at the 500 again. I mean, I'm sure it's so hard for him right now. It's his first 500 he's missed in a long time. He's a 500 winner, and he's out at a point in his career where he could easily keep going for many, many years. So he's just a nice guy. I've always got along with him from Penske, and was one of my, there's been a lot of help. And there's definitely a lot of things that I've used this week that have helped. But at the same time, we've had great car speed, which has made it a lot easier. But just leaning on him has been nice.
Great job these past couple of weeks, guys. Good luck on Sunday, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you both. Scott Dixon and Scott McLaughlin. Pit Stop Challenge is next. We'll be bringing up the champion team once that wraps up this afternoon.
I know.